Oh, what's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I know. It was crazy. A very crazy set of events. But yet we are here. And this very confusing day and time, we need to address the elephants in the room. As Stephen A. Smith is now the head honcho and have the whole show all to himself. There's something very weird going on here. Hold on, we're having some technical issues here. Yeah, we're having a lot of technical difficulties. People are saying they can't get their notifications. I'm sorry about that. Just bear with us. We're trying to help you. All right, here we go. We're getting some words coming in here. Definitely hit the like button up coming through the door. Coming through the door. Hit that like button up. Now, Molly Qerim is leaving ESPN. And everybody thought we was crazy when we was telling y'all all of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes from Stephen A's alleged ex-girlfriend or the girl he used to get with. And Molly was sending these messages to her behind the scenes and she was exposing it and all of the things she was doing on the show. She tried to go to HR on Stephen A before, and all of these things that was done in the dark has now come out to light. Molly Qerim will be leaving First Take at the end of this year. So that woman that everybody thought was crazy and messy and was all over there because she was a black woman, but she was an educated black woman. And she definitely used to mess with Stephen A. Whether she still is now, she calls herself Mrs. Stephen A. Says she got his baby. And this person who was allegedly Molly from a different account was attacking her and coming after her in the messages, saying things that only she would know about. Definitely when it came up to meeting said person. Was that brought into, fruition in full? Oh, yes. Now, here's the situation. When Stephen A got that promotion, Molly was up next. And with all of this information going on, all of those posts was removed from the lady that they call Mrs. Stephen A. Smith, who calls herself that. Yes, that's me. So the question is, why is Molly out? ESPN sent her a low ball offer. A low ball offer. She did not like it. The offer was beneath anything she's made prior, and it required her to do a lot more for a lot less. And she just said, this is unacceptable. And they said, well, this is all we're offering. So she either accepts it or they wish her the best. ESPN was very cold in dealing with her. And Stephen A. Smith did not protect Molly Qerim, as he was alluding to that he would do. Yes, well, when you run across somebody who is definitely been there for 11 years, she's been with ESPN for 11 years, and at the end of the year, she's getting ready to part. She has been a co-host since 2015 on First Take. There's a lot of black men said they're happy. Finally, she gone. I'm like, man, dog, what she do to you? We could get what's her name back? We need to get Carrie Champion back. What did she bring to the table? Well, she was very good at moderating and basically debating and talking about sports to a degree, but she was a lot better than what you normally see. If it wasn't for Molly, you wouldn't have Joy Taylor. So if you're Joy Taylor, you should be thanking Molly Qerim. Who's going to replace Kimberly Martin? She's still on the show? I thought they been got rid of her. They might put someone worse than Molly out there. They've already considered doing that, putting people out there less than qualified. Man, look, this has been going on for far too long. Because we know all the behind the scenes ramifications that was going on as this was developing. People just was asleep. She had a new deal coming up, and that whole deal was being replaced. Oh, yes. There's always a fine line between what you know and what you don't know. While she was in her team or her legal team and everybody else, everything matters when you're at this level. See, that's what people got to start thinking about too when they want to put things into perspective. It's like, look, man, you're in a privileged position, buddy, to learn a thing or two. Yeah, a very privileged position. And when you take that for granted, there's a lot of things out there that's going to be taken for granted, that's going to be held against you, especially at this level. They don't want that kind of noise and attention. You see everybody act and pretend like, oh, this is the best thing that's going. Oh, this is a very interesting thing. Now what is going to happen for ESPN? Oh, this is going to go to this level. They don't care about that. You do. They don't. Shannon Sharp just got removed. That's money they cut. Molly Qerim wants more money. That's cut. Because they didn't pay Stephen A. $100 million that they didn't even want to pay him. So now everybody got to get cut. And if you don't like it, kick rocks. And everybody remembers the Lavar Ball incident. This is when black folks really went against Molly. When he just said, you can shift gears with me anytime. Shift, come on, let's go. Shift gears. She was, whoa, let's keep it sports here. That's what he was talking about. You wanted to switch gears, mean you wanted to change the topic. You wanted to change the subject. It doesn't mean I'm trying to get up with you. My wife is battling cancer. I'm not trying to get up with you. Black folks saw that and said, oh, yeah, she trying to me too the black man. And that was it for Molly. She never recovered. She never recovered for that. And I tried to tell all of y'all this simple thing. This is just the news. It's what we do. Oh, absolutely. Oh, they probably just now updating my Patreons to get up in here. Hit the like button, y'all. Crazy right now. The way they doing things, man. The way they try to sabotage your brother, man. But I'm here to help. So we finna really get cooking right now as we jump straight into this live. Kick the intro so we can really cook. Hi, I'm Carcino. Oh, let's talk about it. No one knows Carcino and none of these. There's so much going on in the world. And I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Yeah. Pressure's on. When it's on, it's on. Now, the reports came out that she was trying to, this was in January of this year, that she was trying to cancel Stephen A. Smith. Y'all remember that, right? And when it came to that level of saying she was trying to cancel Stephen A. Smith, And when everything kicked down, this was back in January, I was the one to tell y'all this was more than just a smokescreen. Because Stephen A didn't say a word. Notice he didn't. But he eventually made her take it down, which I knew he would, because, he's Stephen A. And what was going to come, what was going to come.
White House last year. So he got a thoroughbred doing kicks down for the Dallas Cowboys. And all of this stuff here you've been seeing.
Mm-hmm. These are all the messages.
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff been going on here. And you start to see all this stuff here talking about standing on business, not on a fake account. Trying to say this is Molly Qerim's fake account. Stunner 285.
So they're talking about the situation right here, about the storyline, about the security.
And right here, she's talking about she had her turned away. Stunner right here. Follow one follower, two followers. Stunner NA 285 is Molly Qerim, and they are having a girl fight throughout this entire thing. And she's up here laughing, talking about security turned you around, and I was there. You did not get in. I stand on business. Stephen A didn't want you near him. Man, we were at First Take at Howard. What movie? You didn't get in, and First Take was filmed. You just lie and lie. So obviously, this has been going on for a while. And this has been crazy. She said the whole story has been caught on film. Stephen A production company will be coming out with it in a movie. The gag is you thought I was saying season 2 as a catchy phrase. I'm a clever girl like Beyonce, baby. You film debut. I mean, this is getting crazy. This whole thing right now is like Days of Our Lives crazy.
Yep.
This is nuts. So this is what she's responding to in that video when she made those accusations about Molly.
Did you ever see there are
When she's, look at this. She says, did you know the FBI has been monitoring my social media accounts for years due to threats to my life? You and others are about to be fully exposed. President Trump will not approve of it. She said, well, I wouldn't waste a second making any threats to you since you're reading people. Tell them the story about Stephen A. Smith having you escorted off the set at First Take when he was here in D.C. a few months ago because you popped up. You are a nutcase. That is where you are loud and wrong, sweetie. I was there. I went home early because I felt sick. We later found out I was pregnant. Enjoy prison. Keep adding to the evidence that you already have. I will be giving everything you owe. So it's crazy. All this stuff is going on, but Stephen A. allegedly has known this woman for a while.
Hey, y'all.
So.
Hey, y'all. You ready for a little story time? You know that kid in school who's always like really, really quiet? And there's a bully that keeps on picking on him until everybody finally finds out that kid got them hands? I'm that kid. they got them hands. So let's have a little story time about Molly on First Take. See, Molly came at me last night for the, I don't know how many times, from a fake account. And she was making fun of me. But she didn't know that I know who she is. And so I told her, like Stephen told her, to stop calling him SA. But she wouldn't listen. And I told her not to do it again, or I was going to air her out. And so she decided to get on First Take today to do it. So let me tell you a little bit about Molly and why she calls Stephen SA. Molly actually falsely accused Stephen of sexual harassment. This was after he rejected her advances because I guess she thought that he didn't really love me. Anyway, so let's go back about Molly. See, Molly was the one who actually planted the story about her and Stephen having an affair. When Stephen wanted to address it, his bosses told him not to. Molly blamed that on Jalen, her ex-husband, but it was really Molly. Molly was jealous because, see, Jalen told Molly not to move to Connecticut, but she didn't listen. And then she got mad at the results. So then she decided to go after Stephen A. after she saw him coming up even more. Well, baby, she didn't know that Stephen A. is all about Nikita. So anyway, she plants this story and she thought it was going to faze me, but it didn't, because the one thing I know about my man, he likes all the assets and she ain't got none. Anyway, so she let it play out. And so when it didn't come, I told Stephen at that moment, I said, you should nip this in the bud because she is going to claim you harassed her. And he said, no, my bosses told me not to. And there's another story about those bosses that actually are trying to sabotage Stephen A. at ESPN, but I'll talk about that later. So today, Molly was the one who did it. She planted the story. She falsely accused Stephen. And apparently she didn't think I was about this life, but baby, I'm about this life. See, Stephen should have told you, not only am I a banking expert, I'm an IT expert. And on top of that, I was the EEO director at the FDIC. Now, you better come again before you come correct, before you come at me, because I'd rather be growing my baby. But baby, I'll stop and take care of you.
Now, woo! Now, and y'all.
Now, y'all remember that. And that was very clear. And that's very telling because I told you that was going to come back around. They were trying to act like it was false. It wasn't true. All those words that girl was saying. And I said, that woman knows Stephen A. Whether they still together or not, they were together at a time. She knows Stephen A. And the words that she's using is not from somebody who's not in the know. See, you can tell when someone is like making something up and somebody that's in the know. Because what she's talking about is internal things that was happening on the show when she calls him SA and all that. And he didn't like that. And she would continuously do it to poke at him. Now, when they had a complaint before, Stephen A. came out and chose Molly to be the one he liked. And they did this whole thing where he came on air and hugged Molly. That was to patch up all of the bad tension that was going on behind the scenes that y'all didn't know anything about. Like, there was this big woo-ha. She was going to leave. She was going to split. She had had enough. Yep. Well, that's what you deal with when you get into this. When you get into this style or this type of behavior that goes on behind the scenes, there are a lot of people pulling at the shreds. pulling at the strings, hoping it pop. No, Molly wanted what Stephen A had. She wanted more control. And I know what y'all gonna say. Stephen A don't know that woman. And I told you they do. You can see right there, there's Stephen A and that woman in a car. That's one thing I'll say about Stephen A. He did like the sisters. Never saw him with no doggone white girl. That's why he still survives. See? Stephen A was with this woman for years. He was dating this woman. Whether they still together today, I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. This was the woman he was dating. That we do know. Now, yes, the sabotage that she's speaking about, what they was doing with Stephen A. Smith, was using him when they brought in the good old boys to come in and take charge of what was going on. Stephen A. Smith with the Igers, and oh yeah, Bob Iger and the rest of those guys up there at Disney and ESPN, they like Stephen A. Because Jim is gonna be like, "What you gonna do? We can trust Stephen. He's gonna do what needs to be done. He's a good old boy. He ain't gonna rock the boat." So Jimmy Pitaro and Bob Iger know what they got Stephen A. on that plantation. He lives to please the masses. All they gonna say is, "Bring us more, Stephen," and he gonna go out there and do it. And he felt they were trying to sabotage him by bringing Pat McAfee on his show. And Pat McAfee is like, "I can give a damn about your show. I don't care about your product. I don't care about what you're talking about. That's not why I'm here." That's not. Pat McAfee is like, "Dog, I don't care about your program. I don't need you to lead me into any sports. I can do that on my own." See, now this is when things get off the rails and people stop understanding or seeing things for what it truly is. Because everybody else in the free world know what time it is. Uh-oh, here they are trying to sabotage. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button up. They trying to come with the sabotage. Here they come. Yep. Sabotage Sally's. Hold up. Okay. Yep, like it up. They coming with the BS early. So we on top of it. So it was clear to the rest of us who was watching and was centered in on what was happening. Uh-oh. There we go. ESPN had offered Stephen A. Smith millions less than Pat McAfee. He was hot. So this is what she was talking about when she said the bosses were in on this with this sabotage Stephen A. trying to lower his value down so that they can take on and promote and give him the money they felt he deserved, because Shannon Sharpe had gotten his extension. They gave Shannon his extension because Shannon Sharpe was moving the needle. So when Shannon Sharpe came in and started moving the needle, they said, all right, well, we see who's really bringing the numbers in, which was Shannon, which almost doubled every number that they was doing when Shannon Sharpe came on board. Shannon Sharpe is a former athlete, so football is his thing. And if you want to talk football, debate any topic, even with basketball, Shannon was getting over because of his devotion to LeBron and them Lakers. So everything that he did, all his slogans, the Lakers in 5, people were taking everything Stephen A. Smith was saying and personifying it. He was moving the needle. And Stephen A. Smith used that as if it was his success. Like, that's all me. No, it wasn't all you. Oh, no, 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 no. Like they say, eyes on me.
Basically took from me and ran with it. It didn't give me.
Check this out, ladies and gentlemen.
KB did. But that goes with the territory. Now, since everybody knows, everybody's been pretty much talking about it. But there's some things they just miss in translation. And they get it wrong. Now, this is her yesterday, about a couple of days ago, after Molly didn't follow suit. They started talking about, the storylines and this and that. So while it was gaining attention,
Girl, hey, you thought I forgot about you? Oh, I didn't. I just had things to do. Let me put my glasses on because class is in session. You see, when people don't think water is wet, you got to take them to the ocean. So let's have part 2 about Molly. See, the reason that Molly decided to go and make these false accusations against Stephen A. is simply because she wanted money. Molly is in contract negotiations, and she only makes $400,000 a year. And I said only because me, somebody y'all don't even know, I made that in the federal government. But anyway, Molly wants to make Stephen A. money when she doesn't have Stephen A. talent. And so you can't do that. See, Molly is dry. She lacks really any talent and personality to be on television. You haven't seen her across multiple platforms because nobody wants her. She doesn't resonate with an audience. That's simply it. So if you want Stephen A. money, you need to have Stephen A. talent. Okay? Second thing is Molly had help with Norby because Norby is that type of manager. You know, that manager who hates to see you succeed more than them and to make more money more than them. He's that person. And so they found a way that they thought they could hold Stephen A down. That's what's happened. So since Norby has been hating for a long time on talent that makes more than him, he's going to reap what he sows. So let me tell you what's going to happen with Molly and ESPN because of Norby. Molly will not be working on First Take next season. As a matter of fact, she won't be working at ESPN. Molly is going to get sick again. Her illness is going to come back, and it's going to stay. Further, ESPN profits and ratings will continue to decline until Norby Williams is moved out of that organization. Norby is a cancer. And what God will not tolerate is people being hurt by bad managers. That is what's going to happen. And if ESPN doesn't remove Norby, what's further going to happen is ESPN will fail to exist in the future. And Fox will take over as the nation's leader and as it relates to sports. Now, let me know if you're still feeling froggy and you want some more of these facts. You better ask somebody about me because this is so y'all make sure y'all record it. So when it happens, that you know you can't play with me.
Whoa, now, did she not tell you what was going to happen to Molly? Now, let me refresh y'all memory on what's going on right now. Norby Williamson is gone. Does not work for ESPN no more. Norby was something else. Norby was, to me, was very bigoted and was very instrumental with talent. But when he went up against Pat McAfee, he quit. So they got Norby Williamson out of there. So Norby's gone. So that was Stephen A's biggest thorn they took out of his paw. Norby Williamson is terrible. Trust me. He's an old way of doing things, old bigoted white guy. You know, and he was putting fear in anybody black on the show. He don't like nobody making more than him. And he's an assistant, you know, show creator. Basically, he runs all the shows with a whip. And they was all scared of Norby. Couldn't say nothing to do nothing with Norby Williamson. You just had to accept it. Until Pat McAfee got there. And he was like, no, I don't. I don't have to answer to Norby. Because he had his own show, his own staff and crew. He don't have to report to Norby Williamson. He called Norby's boss and said, Jimmy Pitaro, we have a problem. Who? This guy named Norby Williamson. Norby, what did you doing messing with Pat? Well, I don't like this, and he don't respect me, and he got to know I'm the boss. You don't boss his show. You don't work for ESPN. You can boss the people that work for ESPN. You can't boss Pat McAfee. He's his own boss. We have a partnership with you. I have my own company. I don't work for ESPN. I'm not an employee. And that's why Norby's like, I don't have no power, and I quit. So he got him up out of there. So what did she say about Molly? Molly's in contract negotiations, which she was all this year. And then she says Molly is going to be gone. She won't be on First Take next season. Did she tell you a lie? Did that woman tell you a lie? She said record this because when it happens, don't say it didn't, like she was lying. Everything she said came true. She didn't hex Molly. She told y'all the truth. Her and Molly been talking behind the scenes. Molly's upset because she wants Stephen A money. She gets $400,000 a year. And she's upset about that because that's all she's getting. Is people sitting at home on YouTube making more than Molly Qerim? And I was saying that for years. When somebody was on ESPN and they was talking like, man, they on ESPN. And I'm like, I make more than them. I was making more money than half of the people that was on ESPN talking trash, and all these people talking about stuff. Man, they on ESPN. Who are you? I said, well, I make more to do what I do than they do. I would tell you that. They just on TV. They got to get up at 7, 6 in the morning, go to makeup, go to wardrobe. I ain't got to do nothing but wake up. So we had a whole difference in philosophy. And it took people about 4 or 5 years to realize what was going on and said, man, this dude didn't figure it out. Why would I want to go work at ESPN and get a job when I can make the money here? Then everybody started coming to the internet. They all got smart and said, hey, we need to come to the internet. So that was explosive. They had never seen anything like that. Oh, definitely. That woman told you exactly what was going to happen with Molly, and she was right. Where is Molly going? Well, Molly's got options. She either's going to try to see what Fox is doing. They probably got an offer there. She might be doing some expanded work on like NFL Network or whatever they're going over there. Or she might take the podcast route. You know, you never know. I don't think Molly is strong enough to have her own show. I don't see her putting in that kind of effort. That she's good in a setting where there's other people talking and she could just moderate. She didn't quit. She just refused to accept a contract that basically didn't give her a lot of power and financial stability that she felt she deserved and earned all these years. And after Stephen A got all this money, he damn sure wasn't finna fight for Molly, as that lady was telling y'all things that was going on behind the scenes. So now you see that Nikita told y'all all of this stuff that was happening behind the scenes, and nobody was believing her at first. Like she's just a bitter, crazy ex-girlfriend. But what she said came to be true, right?
She's enjoying this fame. So.
Hey, Molly girl. I heard you call my man SA 2 times on First Take today. So, you know, I got to put my glasses on and put class in session because I told you when people don't think water is wet, you take them to the ocean. And who knows the depths of the ocean? You see, Molly girl, I know your agent told you to keep letting this on, keep egging it on because it's good publicity for you. You know why? Because nobody cares who you are. Until I started talking about you, nobody even knew your name unless they actually watched First Take. And most of the time, you're very forgettable. Now, you can let your agent let you write a check that your behind can't cash, but baby, I got a whole day. And I promise you the still waters run deep. Now, You told everybody that the reason that the First Takes ratings were going down the drain is because you and Stephen A didn't have any chemistry. And then you decided it was a good idea to put that rumor out about you with my man, girl. You should have found something safe to do. Yeah. So the reason the ratings are failing is primarily because of you. You know how I know that? Because Stephen A can go to any platform. He's a ratings drawer. That's why he can go to Bill Maher. He can go to Howard Stern. He can go to CNN. He can go to Fox News. He can go to All the Smoke. He can go to Pivot. He can go on any platform because Stephen A is that dude. You're not. You're not that dude. And let me tell you why. Because you're an ineffective host, and most of the time you just act plain incompetent manner. You can't even keep the tempo of the show. You can't manage to get them to on break on time. You can't manage them to help them get on topic. And most of the time, you add no value when you interject yourself into the conversations. There's so much happening in the world of sports, and you could add value by actually bringing a better, different perspective. But you can't do that because you don't spend time being informed. You spend time whining. Yeah. On top of that, you know who should really have your job? Because you really shouldn't finish the season. You're a drain on First Take. The person who should be sitting in your seat is Kimberly Martin. Kimberly is intelligent. She's entertaining. And boy, does she add a lot of value. And guess what? The people who come on that show, they respect her. Nobody ain't got no respect for you. That's why you always being talked over, because you a bunch of nonsense. So the next time you decide that you want to play this game, girl, I'm going to be right there watching First Take tomorrow. And for every time you come for my husband, I'm going to read you the filth. And it's going to keep getting better and better every time. Hey.
Now, exactly. Kimberly Martin wasn't it. But yeah, she keeps claiming that her and Stephen A are secretly married. So, hey, that's all I'm telling you. Is she has been right on everything she said. 100%. Now, she's cleaned her page in the last few days of all that Molly stuff. She done cleaned it off.
So she's doing hit 'em up while she's allegedly pregnant, and she's getting down while clowning Molly. Now, well, she's at Savannah State. That's where Shannon Sharp went to school. So I don't know if she went to Savannah State too, but yeah, she's a thoroughbred. Now,
No, nobody need to hire no Joy Taylor.
no, I don't. I have no idea what Molly and this woman is going to continue to do this, and I have no idea how long this is going to go. But this January has kicked off with the women, and
Yep, and that's how the year started. So as they were going through this whole debacle, only my Patreons really knew what was going on because they were the ones who was gifted with the information. Like, we didn't give all the information to everybody. We first gave it to our Patreons, who has shown a lot of support. So we're going to have some more information to give you that's going to be for Patreon only, for all my Patreons in here. Don't worry, you're going to have some Patreon only information to come. Now, Molly just came out of nowhere, remember? When she blew up and we told y'all all the stuff that was going on, that they didn't want y'all to know about and all this stuff, and y'all thought it was a joke. And we had to be the one to inform you that Molly Qerim slept with Conan O'Brien. That's right. She started off as an intern for Conan O'Brien on the Conan O'Brien show. Molly Qerim. Yes. And she slept with Conan O'Brien.
From Star and Buck Wild, man. From reading the source. Dude, they were gods. People used to get the Source magazine for Star and Buck Wild. We would go all the way to the back. Start with Star and Buck Wild's report. We didn't care who was on the cover no more. That one page was better than almost anything somebody could write. But man, I swear, I would never forget it as long as I live. I used to fall out on the floor like rolling. It was like when he said, Sinbad is tired, he's through playing around for white folks, and if it's okay with black folks, he would like to come home now. Man, I just pissed on myself. I'll die. Like, it's just how it was worded. Sinbad is tired because Sinbad had did like 3 of these movies in a row, like House Gas, Sinbad and the Kid or whatever, where he's like the butler or whatever, private security for the president. He got to guard the kid. He had did like 3 of those movies in a row. And it was like, Sinbad said, if it's okay with black folks, he would like to come home. Sinbad was mad over that. He was pissed. He ain't find that too funny, but I found it as funny as hell. Star and Buck Wild was crazy. Now, let's get back to this. Don't forget to hit the like button, y'all. Subscribe to the page. The Cash App is Carceno, Karceno, for those that want to know. So I was told that many on the set knew that Conan O'Brien and Molly were having a twist. They were messing around with his intern. And it was starting to get to the point where it was going to leak out and get bad. So Molly had to go. So Molly was gone. That was just it. She just disappeared. She signed an NDA or whatever she had to sign, and she's gone. Everything was kept quiet, different time. I never knew she worked there. I don't know Molly Qerim is, to me, is the most, all I know is the damage she doing since she been on the damn show. Since she been on TV. Now, everything else, that's just beside the point. Now, as far as her doing her job, as far as being on television, running the show, and things like that, she's talented. You could tell she has broadcasting skills. Like she went to school and she knows what to do. She's comfortable with the camera, knowing how to turn, when to turn, how to speak, when to come in and interject. Now she's actually part of the show instead of just moderating, which she started off doing on First Take, because she was actually doing some shows prior to this. Like she did some stuff that was like on the editing room floor. Yes. So while I'm getting the information, it comes back to me that Molly Qerim is the one that got Lavar Ball blackballed and could not come back to ESPN. They didn't feel safe with Lavar Ball being on the show. You know that happened on ESPN first, right? So ESPN was the first people to bar him from coming on the network. He could not come on ESPN no more. And they made so much money off of Lavar Ball. Every time Lavar Ball would pop up on the show, the ratings would go through the roof. LeVar Ball would pop up and the ratings would go through the roof.
Talk to him. Talk to him, Cito. Talk to him.
He said, I just got silenced for criticizing your take on this matter.
They
What
can't
could you
afford
be
Taylor
criticized?
Rooks.
That's the thing. I want to know, what in the world would you be criticizing right now? Now, here's the thing that shocked me. Molly went to the bosses and complained after it was done, claiming she didn't, and ESPN did this on her own. Jalen Rose had to come out and said, no, she didn't do that, and this happened, and that's just the situation, and blah, blah, blah. No. Her complaint was that LeVar Ball made a remark, and she just wanted an apology, and she didn't get it, so that's the route they took. She didn't want him back on the show. And ESPN made the decision not to bring LeVar Ball back because LeVar Ball said, what? What am I apologizing for? That's why he said, I didn't do anything. You want to shift gears? He's like, okay, you can shift gears anytime you want. Let's shift gears and go to another topic. You can shift gears anytime you want. That's what he said. Like, man, she's not even my type. Like, she thinks everybody's into her. She's one of those girls that thinks everybody's into her. When I saw Molly on the ESPN set, and I saw her when I was like putting on makeup, finishing all that stuff, seeing her up close, I'm like, ooh, God. No thanks. Joy Taylor won. I'm like, Joy Taylor won. I'm out. And the winner is Joy. Now, that's not nice to say about somebody. You can't help your physical appearance, what you look like. She stay in shape. Andy probably reached in and got a hand on the booty too. No, I was just telling you what I was told, that she's to sleep around with Conan O'Brien. She was his intern, personal intern. And I didn't know anything about that. I did not. I didn't know anything about this. You never once heard me mention she was interning for Conan O'Brien. He said, that's two, they both trash. No, she had LeVar Ball kicked out of ESPN. All over her, thinking that he thought she was like, oh, let's keep it professional here. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like, his reaction was not in a sexual manner at all. He's like, look, I got my queen. I already got my queen. If her mind shifting gears mean, that's where her mind's at. That's not where my mind was at. We talking sports. We ain't even talk. Our conversation ain't even on that level. And she want to go there. If her mind went to that, then that's her problem. And he's right. So he got mad at Jalen Rose, her husband at the time, for not sticking up and defending her. Like, you're making it like I blew this out of proportion. You heard what he said. That's not what he meant. You know what he meant. He's embarrassed. He's trying to clean it up. So she got into it with Jalen. Jalen was looking like, I'm just going to stay out of it. It's not my show. Yeah, trying to play victim. That's exactly what happened. So now All of the things changed. They flipped upside down. So after Lavar Ball situation, the thing that really got people stirred up and angry was Deshaun Watson. She came out like out the blue to go against Deshaun Watson. It was a shock and awe to everybody because we were all like, whoa, that's out of left field for you. Because what the Cleveland Browns decide to do ain't no concern to you. For you to take a personal approach as if he did something to you, when actuality, he didn't commit a crime. But you wanted to use him to push your agenda of being a full feminist. You wanted to push that agenda and use the Deshaun Watson situation as your platform. That's going to be your stance. And you're going to stand up for all women. Even though you didn't even look at the evidence, you didn't look at the fact that other people have been doing this with this massage parlor thing forever. And they just say, hey, here you go. They were hooking him up. This is the reason why everything was hush hush. Why do you think the whole organization got removed? They got removed in quiet. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson just had to take all the blunt of this up front. It was the COVID lockdown. The women couldn't get no work. They was doing stuff extra for money. Listen.
Well, what do you do about that? Come with a definitive answer.
To me, it's still premature because we know there's 22 lawsuits, there's 22 civil suits. I don't know whether he's won or lost. That's why I think it's premature by the Cleveland Browns to give this man the most guaranteed money ever, 230.
Okay, fair enough.
So we don't have those answers. So let me just
look at this. Look at this. Who is the draw to this show? Is it Molly or is it Stephen A? Stephen A's trying to say something. She's putting up her hands. No. Wait a minute. Let me get this off my chest. Who is tuning into First Take to listen to what the hell Molly Qerim has to say?
Nobody. And that was the point.
Okay. So first of all, I already think the rule is egregious in terms of 6 games for abusing children, women, sexual assault, domestic violence. All right.
This woman doesn't even have children. Apparently, she has some diagnosis to where she can't be pregnant or whatever and whatnot. You only want to bring up domestic violence involving women, children. I get that. But what happens when men assault each other? You don't care about that. What happens when men get assaulted? They don't give a fuck about that. We already know this, right? People are getting tired left and right, and ESPN knows this. That's why they put up a clip talking about Molly's getting passionate. Molly's passionate response to Deshaun Watson. She's salty that the man got the biggest bag because he's still one of the best quarterbacks with a year taken off. You mean to tell me that they put the man on the exempt list, criminal charges were dropped, and they still want the man to miss another season or two until these civil cases are settled? You got to be kidding me.
That is true. Because where in the world has a civil case made it that you got to sit out the league because of a civil lawsuit? Civil lawsuits didn't even used to get televised. The only time a civil trial ever meant anything in the world was the OJ trial. He won the criminal court, then they go to civil court. Normally, that's ass backwards. What kind of new Negro rule is that? And she's gone full feminist.
That rule needs to be changed. That's a minimum of 1 season. So Deshaun Watson, if all these 22 women lied on him and he wins every civil case, right? All 22 of them vote for it, break the bank. But that's not where we are right now. And we need more information. We need more information also from the Browns on how they got here, how the NFL got here to take this decision. To answer your question, right, Stephen A., and I understand it's a direct question, I just wanted to make those.
Man.
Look, she just wanted to get her stuff off. Like, I got to get my stuff off, and then you can have the floor again. So she wants to make sure that she is heard.
That must have been what she was doing when she was in a quote-unquote relationship with Jalen Rose. If they were even in the same household, whenever
losing these cases, he should not be playing this entire season.
This idiot, the criminal charges were dropped. So you mean to tell me that, let's say that the judge says, you know what? You did deal with some public humiliation. I understand that maybe there was some damages to your character, or you're dealing with this, or maybe your mental is affected by this, whatever the case may be. But if a grand jury did not find enough evidence to indict this man, what does that tell you? Deshaun Watson probably still has those text DMs, whatever it is, from all of those women saying, thank you for the night. When can we do this again? And you know what? Deshaun probably dubbed all of them because the man has a high of going to the next woman to get a man a happy ending. Is he foolish? Of course he is.
2 seasons.
Okay, but no.
And that's why they gave him, that's why he only loses $1 million, Stephen A., because they know punishment might come down. $1 million when you're about to get 220.
No.
That's a slap in the face to all women everywhere. I just need to say.
And you are a slap in the face to all men across the globe that want to tune into ESPN First Take. ESPN, you're slapping the face of all the casual fans, all of the men, especially all of the black men, because this woman seems like she has a hard on to go on against black men. Remember
Exactly.
what she did to Lavar Ball?
Exactly. So she goes from Lavar Ball to Deshaun Watson, and she's sticking up for these women who she don't know. She haven't read the charges. She don't know anything. She's just going on face value. That's it. Face value. Oh, they did this. They're that. They're this. No, they're not. They not none of that. So, yeah. This is what we're talking about. Yeah, they all let the Wheeler case get swept under the rug, but they drug Deshaun Watson every day for a case that was dropped. The criminal case was dropped. But yet he's being accused as if he was guilty. The reason that it was dropped, and if she was a good person who did their job, instead of just sit back and read notes, if you did research, babe, you would find out that the GM got removed from the team. The coach was removed. They had a whole new lineup. It went all the way up the ladder out there in Houston. They had to start over from scratch. So you should have done your homework. But she's a piece of work. Now, none of this seems to bother anybody else. But it always bothers me when I see us being exploited in such a way. Because that don't make any sense. Oh, we remembered that because all of a sudden, Molly was the one they reached out to when the lawsuit was coming down that lady filed against Donovan McNabb, my cousin, and what's his name? Eric Davis, all of them, when they got the hammer and it was all coming down on those guys. That lady reached out to Molly. And Molly didn't even support that lady. She stayed back. Oh, but it don't stop there. No. She likes to throw black people under the bus. She's made a habit of doing it. It's not a coincidence, brother. It's not a coincidence. She went ahead and she spearheaded a whole debate and a whole behind the scenes issue by sitting over there pillow talking without a pillow. She turned Will Kane and wind him up like a toy and sent him at Stephen A. Smith. They had a behind the scene conversation and it got blown up and they had to go in the office, take Will Kane into the office, and they had to have a talk. And this was during when First Take was real fiery at that time. This is like in 2016, 2017, whenever Trump had won and gotten in office. So all of this was going on and Kevin Durant wasn't going in there, but this was all brewing from last time. And he was hot because they were in two separate studios. That's how fierce it was at the time. Will Kane was in one studio. Absolutely.
I like both of you.
Will Kane was in one studio. They were in another. He was in the studio with Molly. They were in the other location. And boy, oh boy, she wound him up because he was already pissed that Steve and then went to the office to talk about Will Kane's behavior on the show. No, this wasn't part of her job. She did some things behind the scenes that led to this.
We all do this with goodwill, I think, in general. These people at home that listen, this is what I'm tired of. I'm tired of you not listening to me. I'm tired of you hearing what you want to hear. I'm tired of you lumping it into. Listen, I'm tired of you hearing good guys and bad guys, my side and the bad side. I'm tired of you saying anything that disagrees with you is beyond the realm of politics. I'm tired of being more. I'm tired of you saying it's moral versus immoral. And Kevin Durant is on one side and all the immoral are on the other. And in the process of you cloaking yourself in this clear morality that anyone that has even the slightest bit of nuance of disagreement with you is somehow evil. In the process of you doing this preening, this peacocking on TV, you don't hear a single thing that somebody says to you. First of all, when I say Kevin Durant, BS. When I say Kevin Durant has the right and I compare it to Matt Burke doing it to Obama, Max, get out of here with I'm making moral equivalencies. You're so addicted to the language of the last week that you made a BS comparison there. I didn't say they were the same. Did I once say those are the same? Why did you bring it up as an example, Will? Because I show consistency, Max. That's the difference. I'm not convenient. I show consistency.
So as you can see, this is brewing from what happened behind the scenes a week ago after his statement. Molly is she's over there with Will Kane, and she's got Will wind him up to be the toy by letting him know what they went to the office to talk about what they're tired of with Will Kane. So all of this looked like they're doing a show. Stephen A is going to try to guide this like a show all the way through. But he knows Will is really pissed off. And he's basically telling Max, like, Max, you a fool. I'm not like you. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and take this. And he's showing his superiority. Oh, yeah. So he's ticked off. So however the verbiage was behind the scenes, the person spinning the wheels is Molly.
You're the only one that shows consistency.
Yeah, you're right, Max. You know what I did out here?
Is that what you're implying?
Yeah, you're right, Max. You know what I did out here? I wanted to come out here and draw a correlation, an equivalency between Barack Obama and Donald Trump. That's exactly what I did. You did a good job of not listening.
Done so unwittingly.
You do such a good job of not listening to make the exact point you want to make, which is a simplified reduction of anything into good versus evil, moral versus immoral.
Will,
and guess which side you put yourself on in every debate.
Hold on, Max. So, Will, since we're so challenged as it pertains to comprehending what the great, all-knowing, super educated Will King is,
you offended when you...
I'm asking the question. Could you tell me?
He is pissed off. He is so pissed off right now. These are real emotions, people. Those are real emotions. He's ticked off right now. And the reason that he's upset, the reason that he's so bothered and he's so ticked off is because of the situation that has been put before him. Yeah, he's going off. And the reason he's going off is because he's been wind up because of all the stuff they did the week prior. So now he come into this week, he just couldn't wait to light them up. Because Stephen A is talking about what he's sick of. And then you got Molly over there in his ear, Will Kane, causing controversy. Because realistically, she wants it to be her show. But she can't do what Stephen A do.
Exactly what you said about Kevin Durant when you said that it's about politics. You didn't say that?
Yeah.
Tell me what you said.
No, I will.
Tell me what you said.
Okay? And I can't believe it somehow. And I can't somehow.
Yep, you see that? It's not an insult to say, please listen. So you can tell Stephen A said that he was insulted. He was insulting me. So he's bringing all of this up from that meeting that he had to have. And he got Molly sitting there with him, Will Kane. And she ain't even doing her job. She's letting it all go down. Now, it's supposed to be Stephen A show. And Mac's supposed to be the co-host. I told y'all when this thing first started and they were looking for a co-host, I said Will Kane was the guy. He was supposed to be the co-host, not Max Kellerman. Max had no. He don't have no fire. He can't debate. He's too factual to debate. There's no passion here. Will Kane, this is the passion. This is the guy you should have had on every week. And Stephen A would have been in trouble. And he knew I can't debate Will Kane every week. That'll just drain me of my energy and I'll look stupid. Because Max started to look stupid. And then that was that. He cooking both Max and Steven. Of course, he's pissed. Imagine if you pissed, you're going to start cooking.
You're offended.
Answer the question, Will.
And I can't believe
Answer the question.
Stop talking and I will. I can't believe.
Damn. You see how he talked to him? Hey, stop talking and I will. And you see how Stephen A ain't raised his voice? He ain't said a word. This dude can do whatever he wants because in his mind, he feels you're beneath me. Yep. He feels you're beneath me. You are beneath me, and I don't have to answer you.
Somehow you're offended by me questioning your listening skills when you question the very morality of someone who disagrees with you. Yet you get to be offended. Here's what I said. Kevin Durant has the right. Everyone has the right. No one should have moral imperative to have to support anything they don't support. I've consistently held that position from administration to administration.
That's not what I'm asking.
I'm not done.
Stop it. You guys stop interrupting each other, please.
I'm not done.
Look, stop interrupting each other, please. You haven't said a word since Will was getting off. When Stephen A started saying something, now you want to jump on in. Because you in the studio, not with them, you in the studio with Will Kane. So I knew who the problem is. Because they were like, we ain't even in the studio with this guy. How he know about what's going on? Because she in there running off at the mouth.
Now y'all see, Molly was on demon time.
That's how it works.
Well,
that's exactly how it works.
Yeah, and you see that? They were in New York. Will Kane was in California. That's before they closed down that set and moved everybody to Connecticut. They're in the Connecticut studio.
On my prediction for tomorrow,
so it's clear right now.
Bills, Chiefs. It's going to be a rematch.
Choices are those that are immoral, and that's where we draw a line.
Not always, Will. Not
Just
always,
now.
but here is
Just
an example. You're discussing the principle. You're discussing this in terms of principle. And in principle, I agree with you. Everyone's entitled to do that. One shouldn't impose their beliefs on another, etc. But there are times in human history where there is a clear moral choice. Usually, to apply these principles are correct in terms of the nuance. But there are times where there are very clear moral choices. And if we pretend that there's ambiguity in this choice, that is incorrect.
By the way,
here is a moment in American history where there is a clear moral choice. Do you disagree?
Max, a moral choice from me. Do you get it? Do you get the difference? I'm not a dictator, Max.
No,
I'm a
no,
single.
I don't. If I see people waving swastikas, Confederate flags, and using white supremacist slogans, I assume that's a moral choice for everyone.
You know, this is maybe Stephen A. This is what you're referring to. The last point I made is I said that I don't think Kevin Durant's analysis of Donald Trump and his reasoning is one that I look at and I go, yeah, he nailed it there. The truth of the matter is, I don't think Donald. God, it's so free from sports at some point. And this is why you mix it up, because I don't want to just, it's not just a political discussion. Donald Trump doesn't have some people he's for, some people he's against. He's not for anyone. He's for himself. Period.
Man, he's hot. And this is what I was trying to tell people beforehand. And she stirred up this whole pot.
Stirred it up.
Oh, they thought it was great television. They thought it was great. Yeah, but she got all the smoke. All the smoke for black people. Absolutely. White people could do whatever they want with Molly. They could play with her. They could do all the stuff. They could just, only they could be joking. Nobody else could joke. Oh, it's 100%. They don't want anybody else joking on the situation That's not acceptable. They don't want that. They don't want your trust, your love. They don't want none of that stuff. They want you to be in compliance. What's his name? Arlovsky was sniffing her shoe. Sniffing her shoe on the show. And nobody said nothing. They thought it was funny. Oh, of course. See, it's always funny when it's at the behest of somebody else. That's white. Let a black guy sniff their shoe. He'd have been out next week, been called the weirdest guy.
Have you ever been pressed for kind of being a little too mouthy with the gangster?
Yeah. It was with Nelly.
Oh, yeah. All 100%. Now, this the thing that's gonna get you more than anything. Do y'all remember I'm gonna see if I can find it for you. She called him Hitler. She compared Kyrie Irving to Hitler. You remember that? You compared a black man to Adolf. That was crazy. And they let her get away with it. They let her get away with it. As long as he's black, it's all good. But somebody didn't give a damn. We're going to go to that right now.
I don't think money. I even got money. Ass bitch. When the shit was going on, was joking about with the lady that he was married to at that time, Molly,
and messing with Stephen A. Smith, maybe.
See, I forgot I had talked about that. Jalen, he was a little happy to see me, but he was like, "Oh, nigga." And I was like, "Oh shit, what I say? What the hoe on ESPN say about Kyrie? What she called him?" People would be like, Corey called her a hoe, but they ain't gonna say what she said about him. What's the bitch Stephen A. fuck? My Qerim. What the hoe say? He supports Hitler. Her big buck-eyed ass. Bitch, I saw you without that makeup on, goddammit. Jalen, you better be glad you got away from that bitch. Because you know they get really decrepit as they get older. Like, they really fall apart. That bitch is about to be nothing with some big eyes. You got the nerve to call a black man Hitler on TV, and what did the black dudes do that was there? Did they check her? Nope. Loose lip bitch around some niggas. This how she look. Supposed to check that bitch. Hey, bitch, you doing too much. Ain't no black Hitlers out here, bitch. Motherfucking black Hitlers, bitch. You better suck Stephen A. dick. I remember I never had no problem with Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose a good dude.
Shout to Detroit.
He a good dude. He married a bitch.
Right.
I stand on that. Like, but Jalen Rose is such a good dude. Yeah. He's still cool with
Stephen A.
Stephen A. and that girl. Because Jalen Rose, he a different type of dude. Or that's what I believe. My instincts tell me Jalen Rose a good dude.
Damn.
He is a good dude.
But that nigga, in a way, he was like, when we got off the plane, shake my head there, he was like, all right, no nigga took my bitch. Jalen.
But he take her? Or were they divorcing or something?
Well, what he said on the plane, they ain't messing around. And I was,
Oh no.
I couldn't say shit. Cause I'm like, I love Jalen Rose. Like, I be happy to see Jalen Rose. I know I said something about when he had to apologize for that shit. We know he had to apologize to keep getting that paper.
And that's why I like Corey Holcomb. He is so Chicago. He is so Chicago. It is unbelievable that he has been in California for a long time. And he's still Chicago. That's how Chicago he is. Like, if you put me down south, pretty soon I'm going to be sounding like them. I'm going to have a whole southern accent. I'm going to go to London, my whole accent going to change. Not old Corey. That boy got a Chicago accent out this world. And it's strong. He said, sound man growing up in this adult world. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, Corey, he trying to figure all this out.
I remember that apology. It was unnecessary and quite bizarre, if I remember it correctly.
But why we don't know her name? Maybe I'm missing something as it relates to the law, but why we don't know her name? It's not like she's a minor. I feel like we should know her name publicly as well.
A few minutes later.
I'm Jalen Rose, and I would like to apologize for a comment I made earlier on NBA Countdown. I question why a woman's name who had an alleged affair with Celtics head coach Ime Udoka was not made public. After an internal investigation, and it was discovered that she was a subordinate to the head coach, I now understand fully why her name should not be released to the public.
Y'all motherfuckers on ESPN, man. Y'all motherfuckers look stupid. Even my brother Jalen Rose. When Jalen Rose apologized, man, it was the most embarrassing shit I saw that day. I was looking. I was like, look what they made him do. Jalen Rose didn't want to apologize. That man said, I now understand what I did wrong. Oh. Stephen A. and Molly was sitting in bed like, yeah. When you work for Caucasian media, Jalen Rose's apology from this week should be part of orientation. This is what happens if you speak from the heart. You got to look stupid in front of your people. Everybody find that Jalen Rose apology where he looked like he was at gunpoint. It is the saddest shit. He said, I now understand that I ain't supposed to say that.
Yeah, what he said? Yeah, I know what you're talking
He
about.
apologized when he didn't even really do nothing wrong.
No, he didn't.
But the main thing I'm talking about with this shit is, look, I can't prove Stephen A. Smith smashed Molly. I can't prove that. Why? I'm gonna tell y'all people. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Man. Listen, whenever you got boss ass niggas around your woman, she can get smashed.
Are you calling Stephen A. boss ass?
Stephen A. is the most highest paid motherfucker. Up
Yeah,
there.
he's paid. Oh, Stephen A. got bread.
He's
the king of the.
Oh, that's why Darlene need a girl on here with her, because she finna say something stupid.
Corey is the funniest man in America, man. Hands down, that's the funniest dude in America. He said, well, he understands now, Jalen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why you got to stay away from people like Molly. Molly is not, that ain't the good Molly, or both Mollies. Get rid of all of them. It's not going to be good for you, bro. None of the Molly. I know, man. That's crazy, right? Oh, hit the like button, y'all. What y'all doing? I'm looking at the like button. It's like, serious? Dude, hit the like button up. Y'all been sitting here all this time, like button free as hell. What the hell y'all doing, man?
Cash App is
I'm
card.
like, I gotta tell y'all to hit the like button every 5 minutes.
You see the Cash App on the banner.
Yeah, because the thing is that on a serious note, it's affecting people's lives.
If you got money, you get to fuck the bitches around you.
I already know.
That is fact. But in this day and age, when you do that, they come for your bread. They come for your bread and your head. Because now, first they going to do it. They going to sleep with you and get the money. Then when they get the money and they through sleeping with you, then they going to say you took advantage of it. So they finna get the whole thing, then the show that used to be yours, that you used to break them off some bread for, now they take your show over. Now it's all about them. Look at her. She's now came up and he's broke. He got to pawn off Emmy Awards. You know, he threw. Now, everybody can sit there and say, well, I don't think he did that. I don't think why would he do that? Why would Stephen A. turn around and do all that? I don't know why. This is crazy. Why? Why not? That's the thing. Why not? Why wouldn't they do it? Ain't nothing they doing is above anything that they wouldn't have done before in the past, present, and future. Her lips have changed. It's called Botox. She had no upper lip. Now she got the Kardashian special. Got the Botox in the upper lip.
How you gonna tell me what went down? Y'all didn't know anything till I told y'all, Eric. I was the one that told y'all about what went down. He said, look here, see though, Jalen found out about Molly when Jalen's mother and grandmother was both sick. And little Molly was nowhere to be found. That is not true. That is 100% false, Eric. They both lived in California. Okay? Jalen's grandmother passed, and then his mother passed. And less than a year. And that's when COVID was out. COVID had hit. She lost family members too. Some of her family members passed away from COVID. So they both lost people. And she was trying to be there for Jalen. Jalen was going through it at that time and was having a hard time dealing with, the loss. And after a year, it was brutal. And that's what people don't understand. It's not always about cheating. Molly lost family members. He lost family members. She was trying to be there for him, but he was pushing her away. You know, he was just, you know, I need to be on my own. He just didn't. He was very temperamental. He was not wanting to be embraced. She didn't know how to be there for him. You know, so it was a different situation. Both with grief. It was just terrible. And then in the midst of that, they end up closing the California location and said, we're moving everybody back to Connecticut. And he told her to leave then, leave First Take. And she was like, I just can't up and leave my job. He's like, you could take another job. You can leave and say you don't want to do this and go get you another job. Like, you'll make more money. Like, they basically lowballing you where you at. Jalen Rose was trying to get her to expand, but she's, no, I'm going to keep my job. And this whole rumor about when the divorce happened and the Stephen A situation that came on later, whenever they ratings were down to try to get some attention, they made up this whole thing about, you know, and that's when Jalen had to go because he wasn't playing ball. The executives was like, let it cook. But Jalen was like, again, this is at my expense. They did it to him twice. Mac McKenzie, when it comes to Miss Molly. Man, if you love that woman, you can go ahead, because believe me, I've seen her without makeup, and I swear to God, it will scare you. She looked like the Wicked Witch of the West. Hey, let me get your little dog, too. I'm like, Jesus. Believe me, that makeup do wonders for her. When you see her without makeup, you be like, oh my God. She ready to put a curse on some damn body. That damn nose is like, oh my goodness. It is really profound. That's why they show her from straight away. If you seen Molly from the side, her nose down there touch her chin. She got that hair to cover them ears stick out. All she did is a broom. I'm like, man, Jalen probably saw that and was like, yeah, I got to get out of this. I don't know how I got married. You're going to have to put some makeup on in this house. Trust me. Just know I have seen under the curtains. And they was applying makeup. We was on the set, and this is when they were in, where were we at? Where the hell was that? Was that California? And I had the picture. Oh, damn. And I had the picture of the set, of the ESPN set. Damn, I took a picture of that set. Where was it? Was that the California or were we in Miami? It was one of them. But I remember I took a picture of the set. I was like, man, because the whole set was closed. I was like, man, this is where they film Sports Center. And I took a picture of the set and everything. Man, damn. And Molly was in there. They was getting ready to do a show or taping like live. And she was like sitting down getting her makeup done. And I said, oh my God, that's Molly Qerim that everybody be screaming for? I'm like, oh, she is not what I thought. And she would kind of gave me like a eye, like, is he looking at me? Why is he looking at me? Like, please, I know I look horrible. Hurry up with this makeup so I can go out there and show him what I'm working with. Yeah. She doesn't look like that. Does she have a body? Yeah, I guess. I mean, she has a body of a 40-year-old girl, but yeah, she was always the little get the attention because of her body type of person. She was sitting in a makeup chair. She had on jogging pants. I'm like, she's in a makeup chair. She's got on jogging pants. She's not even dressed yet for what's about to go on. Yeah, that's a younger picture of her you're looking at right there. We're doing, yeah, Eric, she looked really that bad. So at the end of the year, she'll be leaving First Take. Where she's gonna go, nobody knows. Like, I don't hate her. I just don't hold her in high esteem as everybody else do. I just be like wondering what everybody's seeing in it. I'm just like, okay, I guess she going to the arena. Might as well. Hell, everything else is going down. If they gonna throw some money away for it, then might as well. Oh yeah, they would. If Molly said y'all can clap, they would. I wouldn't want nothing to do with Molly. She's always ill. She's got her illness that kicks in. You got to deal with all the other factors that's coming in with Molly. I don't want to be around a woman that hates black men or use black men to get what they want out of life. I can't stand them type of women. Well, it's like when you got mental focus and you got everybody who's locked in, right? And you got people that understand the job and know what they're doing. Well, okay, y'all think she's fine as you know what? Then you go ahead and get with Miss Fine, you know what? I just seen better. A lot better. I mean, but if it wasn't for her, Joe Taylor wouldn't be on television. They wanted to find somebody who could compete with Molly, plus Joy had them cans. And they said, okay, well, we could put her cans up there, put her in some nice dresses, and she'll be easy on the eyes. But then they start to feel themselves and get to a certain point where they could push their agendas on the world. Yeah, well, he said facts, Exactly. That's the gist of it. And that's what we be talking about. 90% of the time, that's the nature of it. Mm-hmm. First take is gonna be like a lot better. It should be. But everything that woman said happened. She said Molly was gonna be gone off first take. Molly ain't gonna be back next season. Done. Molly was in a contract negotiation. Molly was getting $400,000 a year, which shocked a lot of people. Like, damn, that's all she getting? She saw Shannon Sharp get a deal over her. She was upset about that. Then she saw I saw what's his name? Like, I saw Stephen A. Smith. I thought they would keep Molly and give her a deal, but it just shows you how they trimming the fat over there at ESPN. They're not playing around. No. California takes 40%. Well, she's not in California anymore. She's in Connecticut now. She moved back up to Connecticut because they moved everybody up because it was becoming too expensive. ESPN has been cutting the weight. They've been cutting a lot of red tape, so they've been going through it for a very long time. So anyway, I'm gonna get caught up on the Patreon. So on the Patreon, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about what's going on, and I'm gonna tell y'all about Shannon Sharp's new deal he signed on September the 1st. Me and Gil was already talking about it online, but I'm gonna tell you guys what's going on with it because I had to tell him because he acted like he knew something, but he ain't know shit. So anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here. Love, peace, and hair grease. I'm out.